canceled, folks, for tomorrow night, where there's a small ridge over California, narrow trough over the northern Rockies, a narrow ridge over the mid-Mississippi Valley, a narrow trough over the southeast coast, plus another one just north of Maine. What does this mean? Somewhat weather will occur throughout parts of the west coast, particularly in northern California to parts of Washington state, and plenty of wet weather in the front range of the Rockies and the Great Plains. And this could be somewhat weather that may occur in some parts of the Northeast, all the way down to Florida. And we move on to Sunday night. So what do we got for Sunday night? I'll tell you what, folks. Well, there's actually two tiny types of trough and a flat ridge in between in the western half of the country. And see, we do have an upper level high just located over the Great Lakes region, a narrow trough stretching from Maine all the way down to the Carolinas. And translation, there's going to be plenty of strong to severe weather in the northern plains. Some wet weather will occur throughout the central plain, the great parts of the Great Basin, and plus just located on the leeward side of the Cascades in Washington state. And some wet weather will occur throughout parts of Florida. Dry weather will be dominant throughout much of the Ohio Valley, all the way to a few parts of the Northeast. Now, there could be a Rex block that could be in the making, just a mini one, located in the northern plains. That could be something, folks. It could be something. History is bound to repeat itself, folks. History may repeat itself. Now, finally, we move on to Monday night. It looks like I spoke too soon. Or rather, it's a dud. So what does this mean? There's going to be a weak ridge over the Pacific Northwest, an upper level low, a trough that could be over the northern Rockies, and another one just north of the Dakotas. And there's going to be a very weak trough over the East Coast. A very weak narrow trough, though. Maybe another level low. But it's relatively weak, but it's got plenty of spin. What does this mean? Well, folks, I gotta tell you, there's gonna be plenty of wet weather from parts of the desert Southwest and Great Basin all the way to the upper Mississippi Valley. Maybe a few parts, many parts of the South, particularly in the Southeast. Plenty of wet weather to go around. Alright, so now let's talk about the tropics. Let's go back. Let me take a quick sip, folks, because I'm thirsty. Yeah, hold on a minute, folks. All right, I'm back. Okay, so we start off with tonight, and in the tropics, in the Atlantic, some dry air. Let me see. Something could form. I mean, you do have a barometric swamp in the upper part of the atmosphere, but doesn't really mean that any chance of development would happen. You got strong upper level winds dominating throughout the rest of the Atlantic, the tropical Atlantic, and you do have a trough just sitting over there. And in the Caribbean, although the winds are somewhat weak, but many parts are still dealing with some strong winds, and especially the Gulf. More background music, folks. You love it? Does Twitch love it? No. Maybe for you guys, maybe, but their Twitch has specific rules. Okay, so now let's move on to tomorrow night. By tomorrow night, very strong upper level winds throughout the tropical Atlantic, all the way to the Windward Islands. And the trough would still be present throughout the East Coast, bringing in some strong winds aloft, and especially on the Western Atlantic. Caribbean, still plenty of strong winds present there. And we move on to Sunday night. Strong winds dominating throughout the tropical Atlantic. Trough still in existence. You got this Omega block that's sitting in position on Sunday night. Then you move on to Monday night. Still strong winds aloft. Maybe something could form, a tropical wave. But we'll see what happens. But either way, plenty of strong upper level winds surrounding which you got this dry air from the Sahara Desert trying to threaten its development of becoming a tropical storm in the near future. Yet there's still an upper level low that's sitting over the Carolinas, but still going to hinder any chance of development. Maybe something could happen in the Gulf, but chances are not much though. The Caribbean, it's too strong winds aloft. And then you get Tuesday night, too much strong winds aloft, very strong all across the tropical Atlantic. Then we move on to Wednesday night, same story, not much is happening. Maybe something could form located in northeastern Puerto Rico, but then again, not much, especially here and here. Maybe, but we'll see what happens. And we move on to Thursday night. Yes, something could form just located between the Windward Islands and Africa. Something could form as a result, but with those warm waters, that could be a factor for development. Then we move on to next Friday night. One storm develops, the other one loses its potential. Well, you do have weaker upper level. Yeah, you do have trough, a weaker ridge, but from what it looks like, it kind of looks like a Rex block to me that could be in the making, just located in the northern part of the Great Lakes region. Well, what good would that do? Well, we'll see what happens going forward, and then on next Saturday night, gets stronger. Then we move on to, that's beyond the 7-day forecast for the tropics. All right, so this is where we're going to leave off because that's where the models want us to stop for now. Hold on a minute. And we move on to talk about the European models. So with the European model, I hate background music, folks. Hold on a minute. All right, I'm back. Okay, so now let's talk about what's going on in the tropics using the European model. So winds are too strong. Law of trough still in existence throughout the East Coast. Then we move on to talk about tomorrow night. Plenty of strong winds a lot throughout the tropical Atlantic. Something, there could be something, but chances are it's not going to do much. Sunday night, very strong winds, dry air, plenty of it. Trough on the East Coast. Monday night, still the same story. Something could form, but what good would that do? Tuesday night, something could form coming out of Africa. Upper level low in existence throughout the southeast. Wednesday night, getting stronger. Strong winds. Strong winds could hinder the system by Thursday night. What good would that do? I mean, even though there are plenty of warm waters to go around, but still. So what do you have? Very strong winds aloft. It's not going to make the storm organized in terms of its spin. I mean, it's going to shred the system. Hinder any chances of development. Now, what about for next Saturday night? Well, this is beyond the 7-day forecast, folks. So I'm just giving you guys, something. But something could develop. Just going into just before Thursday night of next week, or rather in 2 weeks. Wait, 2 weeks. Yeah, in 2 weeks. 2 weeks due time. So I mean, it's still too early in the game, so that's why I just did the whole, lazy type of thing, because it's too early, folks. Now let's check the National Hurricane Center real quick. So 40% chance of development within the next 7 days, 0% chance within 2 days. So we'll see what happens going forward. We'll check on that tomorrow. But right now, let's transition back to Radar Omega right about now. And, okay, so we're back. All right, so okay, so let's start off with, okay, so there are no tornado warnings. That's good. Let's check the models using the regional map. So what do we got? So let's start off with temperatures for tomorrow morning. Where are the warm lows? They're in Florida, they're in Texas, the Southern Plains, lower Mississippi Valley, Southern Arizona. Where are the chilly lows? From the Sierra Nevadas, throughout much of the Great Basin, the Rockies, and a few parts in the interior parts of the Northeast, and the interior parts of the Carolinas. Then we move on to tomorrow night. By tomorrow night, there's going to be plenty of heat throughout the lower Mississippi Valley, Southern Plains, Texas, parts of the desert Southwest, parts of California, leeward side of the Cascades, where the chilly highs in much of the Rockies. Now, what about for Sunday morning? My Sunday morning warm lows being on the eastern side of Florida, eastern Texas. Chilly lows will be all over the Rocky Mountains, much of the Great